us in the future. Right now, the MCO is getting very, very bad, and all of us need to learn how to save money, how to manage money properly. So we have invited Mr. Lim to give us talk, enlightenment on how do we manage money efficiently. So Mr. Gabriel will be the host for today. Hope he can give you the best enlightenment ever. Right, Gab?
All right. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys stay healthy, stay strong, and stay safe at wherever you are. So, if we have our Indonesia viewer at Indonesia, Jakarta, or wherever you are, make sure you stay safe and stay strong, stay healthy at wherever today. Before we start into our topics, I would like to make a brief introduction where Enlight, if you have never heard before Enlight, where Enlight it consists of few people where we're going to help students, improve students on their lifestyle, as well as our education in that every aspect. We're going to help them, such as this topic today on money management. So before we jump into our topic, maybe I would like to invite our enlighters to give a brief introduction of themselves. Maybe you should start with okay.
All right. Okay, Gab. So I'm Sanjay, one of the enlighters. So myself, I'm a student in MU doing HR, a degree. So the reason of creating Enlight is just to give back to the university, which helped me to find my dream as an entrepreneur. So please take advantage of this, learn as much as you can, and please ask your questions to Mr. Lim. He's the expert right here. And Mr. Lim, you're doing a PhD recently, right?
Hi, yes, I'm currently a PhD candidate at INSEF doing Islamic finance.
All right, so you can also ask your insight about education or any background that you want to know about him in detail. And I pass it to Mr. Vincent.
Hi, good day, everybody. All right, so I'm part of the Enlighters also. So today, with me is actually the guest speaker is actually a good friend of mine. All right, so you go way back in 2010, I guess, when we met. So he's a very, very knowledgeable person. All right, the way that he's chased knowledge is way out of anything that I can imagine. And like what Sanjay said, he is the best person to for you guys to ask, because I myself, I admit, I am one of the part of the statistics. All right, where you see that 34% of people, Malaysian, actually spend more or almost equal to their salary. That is me. My wife actually chopped that, say that, memang that's me. You know, I'm part of that statistic. So yeah, I think this will be a very good information for me also. Right. So I hope the students that are viewing in my Insta, if you have any question, please make sure that you drop your question in the comment. All right, we'll try to escalate the question to the guest speaker. All right, that's all. Thank you.
How are you? Pass it to Nicholas.
Okay. So, hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicholas. I'm also one of the enlighters. I think I give it very brief only. I'm a first-year student in human resource management. I'm a Malaccan, and hope you enjoy today's session. You know, before this, if you don't have any idea of how to really manage your money, I think hopefully after this session you get a better idea. You know, the economy is really bad. Everybody is struggling right now.
Nicholas, you're breaking.
I actually recently just went on a trip and I can see the effects of these shops closed everywhere. You know, so this is a really good to be learning management data. So enjoy the session and I'll pass it back to Gabe.
Yes. So I believe today everyone is aware about the topic where it's touching on money management. So today we have our guest here with Mr. Lim, where he is an expert as well as he has a master on finance, risk management. So maybe Mr. Lim, you would like to self-introduce a bit on what do you do or maybe the background of you, Mr. Lim.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for bringing me into this exciting movement of yours. So I'm Lim, you can call me SJ, and yes, I have a master's in finance, investment and risk, and I am currently doing my PhD in Islamic finance. And my focus also would probably be interesting to everyone because I do research in investment, right? I don't make a lot of money myself, but I hope what I do and what I find can help others to make money lah. So yeah, that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, Mr. Lim, I hope that with knowledge and as well as the experience, you will be able to help our viewers here on how to actually to manage our money well. Yeah. So without further ado, I'd like to straight away jump into the topic of money management. Since we are small, we are keep on. I mean, like we are taught by our parents, especially we as an Asian, our Asian parents always say, "Ah boy, if you got your ang pao money, or maybe your red packet or what money you get, you must give me. I will help you to save it." Since young, we are already getting this type of habits where our parents help us to really save all our money. Yes, we know since we are young, we know that we have to save our money. But how is it? How do we do that saving part of money? Maybe Mr. Lim, you could elaborate more on how can we actually save our money?
All right. Thank you. Actually, this topic came to be very interesting, and I brought this up to my mother as well. So I do discuss these financial issues with my parents lah. So people in your parents' era and our era is different, totally different. So their saving pattern and ours is also different, right? So you see, in the past, right, when people make money, they save, and when they save, there's not much that they can buy. Unlike today, we can always buy a new phone, and then when the new phone is old or 1 or 2 years, and we buy another phone, and it goes on, it goes on, right? And now that this PlayStation 5, then what? PlayStation 6 coming, PlayStation 7. So it would be never ending. However, during our parents' time, every time they save. They really save because there's nothing much for them to buy. And there's no distraction, there's no IT, and probably they just buy land. They buy land and they buy another land. So they just keep buying land. So you look at their environment and ours, right? The land that they buy over time, the value increases. Yeah. As for us, right? Every time we buy a new phone, the value of our phone
Depreciates.
decreases. So it's unfair to say that it's easy for them to save and it's difficult for us to save, and because we don't have the saving mentality. So it's a totally different environment these days.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If based on saving money, usually what we know about saving money is that with the excess of money, we're going to save in our banks, or maybe if myself, I have a piggy bank where I have excess coin or excess money, I just throw into this, or else I have maybe a huge amount of money I'm going to save in banks. Maybe Mr. Lim, you could suggest that other than banks, where else should we save our money? Because this is the general thing where we know that you save money. Even my mother also say, you must save money in your bank. Don't put under your pillow or what. If not, I will steal your money. And in terms of taking our money back, so they save at banks. Other than that, is there any other option where, other than saving in bank, where can we save our money?
All right. Thank you. So banks is always our first choice because every time we can just put in our money, and anytime we need it, we can just take it out. So the liquidity is there. And then I think someone said that the fixed deposit, the interest rate is too low and things like that. But anyhow, banks is not about making money. It is all about keeping your money safe, right? You don't expect to put money in your bank and you get rich. You don't get rich from putting money in the bank. So it's basically just a place to keep your money safe, safer than under your pillow. All right. So in order to make money, apart from saving in the bank, you have to give up something. You have to give up something called the liquidity. Liquidity means you have to give up the access to your money. That means you totally break off with your money for a certain period of time. And for that period of time, you cannot touch or cannot even see your money. Are you willing to do that? If you are, then it is your right to demand a certain return from it. And that is, my friend, is called investment.
Okay, so that is also called as an investment apart from we sacrifice our liquidity.
Apart from that, we also have to be willing to take risk, a certain level of risk. So in terms of risk, we want to categorize it between low, medium, and high. So what does it mean by high risk investment? That means there is a probability that you may not get your money back. So are you willing to take that kind of risk?
Okay.
Yeah, if you are, then you are in for a big return. If not, if you are not willing to take that kind of risk, there's always a medium or low level of risk where you expect to get back not only your money but a small percentage of return. That's when you talk about risk.
I understand. Because I heard that if we put inside FD, we couldn't take out maybe a certain period. So is it really best choice if we put inside FD account rather than saving account? As I know that FD did provide a higher interest than saving account. Is it like suggestible to put inside FD rather than saving?
So yeah, thank you. So as I was saying, right, the reason you put your money in the bank is for safekeeping purposes. And if you are willing to give up a little bit of liquidity to part with your money for a short period of time, then you are entitled for a slightly higher return. But you are still not taking any risk. Putting your money in FD is extremely safe because you know that you will get your money back. The only thing that you are giving up is the usage of the money. So you still get a slightly higher return, but you are still not taking risks. So the return will still be much lower than any kind of investment that require you to take risks, basically. Yeah.
So that's the kind of other than saving, we could also invest in fixed deposit account. So when we talk about investment, we all are curious because sometimes they say that we can't just put our money in saving account or maybe just our piggy bank because it just only stays there. Because one term they usually says that money, what is it called? How I should put it in this way: use money to make more money. So other than maybe just invest in FD because FD the interest giving is very low, but still higher than saving account. So other than how should we invest our money wisely?
How do we invest in your money wisely?
Yes.
So I don't have a definite formula. So it all goes down to your ability to save. How much extra that you have. So if you have a lot of extras and you have not much commitment, money is available all the time and you are not afraid of losing money, then go ahead and invest everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
On top of that, if say because you're talking about if we have extra money, right? So if based on Miss Adeline's question, say how many percent should we actually allocate from our salary for savings, expenses, etc. So what's the golden ratio that we should actually follow? At least we have a guidance.
Okay.
Based on your experience, maybe.
My experience, there is this saying save after what you spend or spend after what you save or kind of thing. That is one way of guidance. The other way is that because these days when you start working, you always have commitment. One, it will be like being Asian, we'll buy a house. And then second, we will always need a car. I mean, in KL, probably we can avoid buying a car, but other than that, we need a car. So money goes to house, mortgage. We need to pay higher purchase loan. So after that, we still need to pay for our living expenses. And usually Malaysians will have the remaining, and they will just save the remaining. That's our pattern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
so some do not buy house. So this ratio of that you do not use to buy house, you can use for saving or your own consumption. So it all depends on what you want to do with your money. But the typical Malaysian will pay for house, car, and you eat lah. Basically, you don't have any savings, right?
Yeah. So based on your opinion, Mr. Lim, maybe is how much in your experience or maybe your personal try before that, how many percentage that you should put like this amount is for this category, this amount is for this category.
With this amount of okay, it's very hard to say because people has different level of income. So if your income is let's say a fresh graduate, you are earning about 2,500, 3,000. So I presume that you will not buy a house, you will buy a car probably. So a car will cost you 700 to 800 per month, leaving you with 1,800. So 1,800 living expenses, if you are really really saving kind of person, you probably use 800, leaving you with 1,000. So probably 1,000. If you are really frugal, you can save 1,000 per month. That was me 10 years ago working in HSBC. I do save 1,000 per month, and I use that for my education afterwards. So yeah, that was through my experience. But some people might have higher expenditure, so they will have a different way of doing it.
Because what I heard is that, as I'm aware about, because I also am a banking student, where I know that they say it's good to sometimes you follow a type of ratio that is called bucket ratio, where you put 50% on your expenses, 30% as your investment or saving. I quite forgetting already, but it's more to 50, 30, 20 golden ratio. That's what followed by many people around. Is it should we like follow this kind of ratio, or we can change it according to our perseverance?
Okay, these are the mainstream ones. You can always follow, you can always read up on that. But my view on that is to change your behavior rather to just follow the ratio blindly. All right, if you follow the ratio blindly, you can always like cheat yourself. You say, okay, this month I'm not spending, so next month I'm spending more, kind of thing. So you can always cheat if there's a fixed ratio to it. So my view is that you should actually change your behavior about money and savings so that you don't spend unnecessarily. Yeah.
I understood towards changing our own beliefs as well as attitude. So that's somehow will affect our saving patterns, isn't it?
Yes.
So we have a question here that in terms of transportation, do you advise us to buy second-hand car by Patrick?
Okay. Thank you for this question. I think as in Malaysia, we spend quite a lot on transportation, and going for a second-hand car would be a very good idea. Very good plan, because you actually, if you have cash laying around, you can actually pay off the car by buying it cash. So if you buy a second-hand car by cash, you do not have to pay for the financing. So you save in the long run. Although offhand you might part with quite a big chunk of money. But in the long run, you will not be paying banks for this financing. So it's a really good move if you have the capability of getting a second-hand car. Yes.
Oh, I heard that just now you mentioned about paying it as a cash instead of having loans. Why is why is it better if we pay straight away cash rather than we choosing to get a loan and we can pay slowly?
Okay.
Why is that?
All right, sure, thank you. Basically, in the finance world, there is this trap where it is easier to buy a new car because the financing is available, and they always work out a way for you to borrow it easily. All right, but when it comes to you to buy second-hand car, the ability to get loan will be reduced. It is a bit hard to get a full loan to buy a second-hand car. So fresh grad, I think I saw a point, someone saying that for a fresh grad, it's difficult to pay off a second-hand car. Yes, I agree. So you are stuck with buying a new car, right? So buying a new car would mean owing the bank and paying off in the long run. Maybe you take a 7 to 9 years loan, so you will be paying it every month for 9 years, and there will be a constant outflow for 9 years. And so this, you are not paying just for the car. If you add up everything, you are actually probably paying for 1.5 car. Rather than if you have the money, I pay a $20,000 car, $20,000 car, I just need to pay $20,000. But if I would take loan, it will probably cost me $30,000 after paying it off. You get me?
Yeah, so it's about if we're taking a loan, is we have to pay an extra cost, which is the interest, which will not benefit us at all in jobs. So
yeah, so I've seen some comments, and I think I agree that if you do not need to buy a car when you are freshly graduated, just don't buy it. Just don't have to buy it until you have the cash, and then when you decide to buy one, you just buy one with the amount of cash that you have, saving your interest payment.
Understood. We have one question here is from Miss Annalyn. But many Malaysians nowadays spend all their salary on commitment and no saving at all. So any advice on how to manage this commitment?
What sort of commitment? May I know more? Alright. Anyway, before I go there, let me share with you about this book. Have you all heard of this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you finished reading the book?
Yeah.
So what?
No.
Yeah.
No, actually.
Yeah. What do you find interesting from the book?
Robert Kiyosaki, the book is more about he spoke about how his parents taught him how he should live his life. But then like you go to school, you get a good job, and then you graduate, and that's life. But nobody ever think outside the box that they should have this investment for the future, for their kids, like planning their career. Nobody thought about that. So the book thought about us deciding our own destiny. Yep. So like investment, you have to invest in a lot of like stock option. Yep, that's what I remember because I read that like 3 years ago.
Yeah. So that's basically what the whole book was about, and then he actually summarized what the poor dad taught him and what the rich dad taught him.
Yep.
Right. So the poor dad basically taught him how to get a good job, how to save, and then how to fulfill your commitment and stuff, right?
Yes.
But the rich dad taught him to think differently. The rich dad actually taught him to don't save, just spend whatever you can, and if you are over budget, you spend too much, try to find a way to fix that. So it encourages you or motivates you to earn more. So if your commitment is high, following the rich dad's advice, what you should do is you have nothing to save on after fulfilling for all your commitments. What you can do is you can try to make more. That's what I would view it lah. And that's what we in this generation has been doing. More and more part-time jobs, even being a Grab driver would add to your income. Yeah.
Being follow up just now from Miss Annalyn, the commitment she was mentioned is about on the cars, house, utility, and extra.
So you said that you are saying that after spending for all this, you have zero savings, right? So
Yeah.
right. I think that's what. So following rich dad's advice, if that's the max that you have and you have zero savings, he will encourage you to not to worry about that, but to think of ways how to increase your income. Not to worry about what you do not have, but think of how to grow your income.
How to grow our income.
So you're suggesting them to go for passive income?
Passive income will not work if you do not have income. You do not have savings. So you have to grow your wealth some way, maybe through your interests. If you like baking, probably just start a small business in selling the cakes that you bake. Teaching people how to cook, and maybe, I don't know, finding some part-time job that will not burden you too much, but rather be part of your interests.
All right. And for those who are listening to this advice on opening your own business, you can also propose to Enlight. If you want to open a business, we can find an entrepreneur regarding your business idea. Let's say you want to bake a cake. We can find a baker to talk to you about how to open a business and run it. So you can also have that session. Back to you, Gab.
Yeah, I wanna decide.
Yeah, you asked question, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I have a question, SJ. Yeah. So very weirdly that we are talking about Rich Dad Poor Dad. I actually have one of the copy here lah. So before we actually came into this session, I was thinking of questions. Now there was a quote that Robert Kiyosaki made in the book. It was, the poor and the middle class work for money, but the rich make money work for them. If not mistaken, that was one of the phrases that Robert Kiyosaki said.
Yeah.
And as a student now, our only instinct is that we have the money, we put it into the bank, it's just sitting there. So what are the ways that a student, can actually make their money work for them, with so many opportunities like Forex, there's cryptocurrency, there's a lot of things out there right now that helps us to make money. So as you were saying earlier, you were looking into investing. That's how one of the ways that you make your money. So if I, as a student right now, I'm 20 years old, I want to make money, but I want to do it the smart way. What would be how would I get into that? Like, do I start with buying shares, going for cryptocurrency? Do I go for Forex? What would you recommend a beginner investor? Yes, so that would be my question.
All right. Thank you, Nicholas. Very, very thoughtful question, which allows me to think a little. But okay, very good that you bring up about Robert Kiyosaki separating the world into the rich and the poor, right? So the rich makes money all the time. Even if they sleep, the money works for them. But for the middle class and the poor, you always have to keep working in order to make ends meet and to survive, basically. So as a student, 20 years old, having done part-time jobs, having a little bit of extra income, I wouldn't suggest on any particular investment that you may do, because anything can make money if you understand the industry well enough. So my advice would not to go into something that you have no understanding at all. If you understand about gold and you think gold can make you money, go into gold. If you are working as a part-time, say you are working as a part-time promoter, and as a part-time promoter you get like benefits, being able to buy cheaper stuff, so you can always buy this cheaper stuff and deliver it to your friend at a slight markup to make that kind of money. So that's another way of trading, not necessarily just shares or bonds or gold or anything else. So you do not limit yourself to investment being this sort of things, like even cryptocurrency. You can go into cryptocurrency if you understand it well enough. If not, you will always lose to the ones that are better informed, or you will lose to the ones that are more powerful in that industry.
See.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
do I understand? Do I do
Answer
you
the question.
answer your question? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So it's from here, what I get is more important that if we started to invest in our education, something in terms of this cryptocurrency go, so that if we have a good knowledge on this area, we also can make money, isn't it? What you said just now, Mr. Lim.
It is along the way, being a student and then going to work, and then you find something that interests you, and you think that doing this will also has its perks, and it will not waste too much of your money, and you may even gain from it. So something you really love and passionate about, there's always ways to make money from it, not just stock market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, we have a question on this passive income. Is from Patrick. What if I am very tight with current job? I am not sure if I have the ample time to think or grow secondary income. Should I resign and hope for other job for better increment?
Patrick, question from Patrick. Should you resign?
Patrick has many tough questions.
Wow, this is like very personal. Let's have like a personal session. Should you resign? I think happiness is more important.
That's the best answer.
Yeah,
Yes.
to resign or not, I may not be the right person to advise, because if I give a wrong advice, probably you'll be blaming me. And
Yeah. So in the part of just now the passive income, and from a student perspective, I would say that maybe it's because it's better for that as a student, if you feel that you are happy with your job, you wouldn't be likely to have more stress, or maybe because if I don't like this job, I keep on doing it, now I'm building the stress, that worries, all those stuff, and it somehow will also affect our money, because you will tend to use that money maybe to go for drinks, or maybe to spend on something to release your stress. So somehow I kind of agree with Mr. Lim that we find the job that suitable us, that we are happy to do for. So that somehow also will help us to improve our money management in sort of that. Yeah. So another question for Mr. Tan. You mentioned that we should try to generate more income. Can you share with us your personal experience on what you did to generate additional income, such as investment, business, etc.?
all right. Thank you. So, can I get the question again? Sorry.
Okay. It's from Mr. Tan. You mentioned that we should try to generate more income. Can you share with us your personal experience on what you did to generate additional income, such as investment and business?
All right. Thank you. Personally, I'm a very open-minded person. Anyone having a business idea, I will always be willing to listen, because I'm not good at everything, and there are always people better than me, and understanding a certain industry better than me. So I always take time to listen to the industry, the people having these ideas, and try to see if there is potential in it or not. So if there is potential in it, and this venture or this business requires money, uh, I would probably invest in it, and that is how passive income comes about. If this venture or this business is successful, then you are part of a successful business. And if it fails, then it is part of the risk, and you have to be fully responsible after making decision about it. So from my own perspective, it is to keep an open mind about all kinds of industry and try to avoid any kinds of businesses that sounds too good to be true, because I have a rule that if something is too good to be true, it is usually not true. All right. Yeah, like scammers are being very hardworking during MCO. As long as you have your phone, they will always call you day and night trying to scam your money. Yeah, so just try to avoid this too good to be true business. Be more realistic, be open minded. I'm sure you will see opportunities around.
Yeah, true. Because I also heard that some of my friends, they saw this opportunity on if you write you I will pay you $1,000, $100, where if you help me to write an article or sort of that. So they go and join. After that, they knew that when they found out, they said they need to pay an outcome fee. So they keep on paying, keep on paying. At the end, they get nothing payback. So that's considered a scam as well.
Yeah.
So on top of the investment topic, so I have a friend of mine. Also, I'm curious about it, where he did collect something valuable. To him, is something valuable, where he collects some figurine model, like such as Iron Man figurine or Superman figurine. That's worth of thousands of dollars and $10,000. So, is it a wise choice that we invest our money in this sort of thing because they believe that it has value?
Okay, this one is very interesting. In words, you put it as, is it profitable to profit to invest in model or toy figurine? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So my question would be,
Yeah.
how do you intend to profit, and what is your goal from investing in the figurine? Do you intend to profit, or do you intend to be happy? Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll go on.
Wow.
So is this more of a need, or is this more of a want?
Want.
Do you need it, or do you want it? Yeah.
That's
It's something that you want it, then it is always an option whether to buy or not to buy.
that's make a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And
If it's really your interest and you just kind of disagree with me, no, this is not just a need or want. This is my need and this is my want. So just bring in Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook not out of money, but out of interest. So he needed it to prove himself, but he also wanted it for his personal reasons, I think. And over time, that became a multi-billion-dollar business. So yeah.
wow, that's interesting. So that's more of the needs rather than that's more of the one rather than needs. Yeah. So a part of that, we are also like seeing, because Asian parents, me myself, I have a mom where she keep on nagging me on you have to create a budget where you have to keep on expense, like let's say just now I bought a gardenia, so I have to keep track. I have buy this amount, this thing for this amount of money. Is it really necessary to keep track on our expenses so that we can save more money or manage our money better?
Okay. Right. Thank you for that. I would not say you have to do it or you have to do this, you have to do that. I think it's all up to your capability. I know some people who are born and until today they have no qualification, but their money management skill is much better than me. So it's like talent. They can track every dollar that I owe him.
Oh, that's
I'm sure you have friends like that. Hey, you owe me 20 cents.
Yeah.
wow.
Me, right? I'm the kind of person who, okay, 1 ringgit, I won't remember. 50, I won't remember. 100, yes, I will remember, kind of thing. So if you know there is this problem with you, not being able to track money or cash flow, then you better manage it. You better write it down somewhere. Get an app or something. But if you think that you can handle all this without writing it down, then yeah, it's your talent. Yeah.
So that's also a suggestion to those students as well as anyone who feel that if you can't really manage your money well, you don't know where is your money goes. Maybe you can set up and download an app, or maybe use your notebook to drop down whatever you expense on. So maybe that way you could eliminate those unnecessary stuff you don't want to buy. So that maybe that's a way of you can save some money. That's also according to everyone's personal perseverance lah. So, and a part of that, because as a students, some of us just only have debit card as well as just only have normal saving accounts. So is it suggestible for us to have a credit cards? Because as I know that credit cards, you pay first, then after that you have to pay back some sort of that. Is it recommended to us to have credit cards?
Sorry, I have a question about credit card as well.
Yes, carry on.
Okay, hi, Mr. Lim. This is my name is Maria. I would like to also ask about the credit card issue over here. I think we also heard about the statistics about bankruptcy among young adults. The bankruptcy among young adults here is also the contribution comes from the credit card. So do you think credit cards here is actually unnecessary because again, it's contributed to the bankruptcy among young adults, and somehow we can see credit card is also a bit necessary, especially when you are traveling overseas, and also they gave some perks also, but in the same time, they also give disadvantages to the young adults. Can you comment on that? Why does actually the statistics keep growing, and why there are still people who is still unmanageable on using the credit cards over here? So I would like to hear your comments on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this is a very, very big topic because it concerns with a lot of bankruptcy these days, and bankruptcy usually comes from credit card. All right, is Mr. Vincent here? I'm very glad to get another view. Vincent.
Yes.
Yeah, about credit card. What do you have credit card, and do you think it's good or bad?
I just to share lah. I actually don't believe in credit. I'm very scared of credit card during my time when I graduate. I do not know about credit card until I work. Okay, even during the first time I work, I do not have credit card because the fear is that they say that the credit card is like hantu. You know, you keep on using. Swipe only. You know. But yeah, when you keep on swiping, you are not actually trying to track what you spend. So that is the fear that I have, you know, because I'm a very heavy spender at times. So I only get my credit card when when the work need. So when you talk about the want and need, right? So I really need it that time. So only I get the credit card. So I think it comes to self-awareness. So for my advice to teenagers would be, look back at the want and need. Okay, so if you really need it, right? If you really need it, maybe because of traveling or some sort of that, okay? I think self-awareness have to be that. Your own attitude, your own what you call this attitude in way, all right, in a way that you really need to make sure that you have your self-discipline. Because I can tell you that for sure, even online shopping now, it allows you to do that. And I know many students actually do online shopping with that credit card. So it's quite dangerous actually. So they need to have that self-awareness and they need to have that self-discipline in that. So if to say that whether they should or should not, they have to look back at themselves, whether they are capable in that response. For me, that is responsibility. You know, at that level of age, their responsibility is not much actually. You know, it's on their studies. And if say they want to take up this extra, for me, having a credit card in a very young age is an extra responsibility, whether you can get it or not. Even having a pet also is a responsibility, you know. So all those are part of investment, you know. So you say that if you want to take out a credit card, you have to bear with the consequences, you have to bear with the risk. For me, it's a big risk for youngsters, you know, to have a credit card. So again, if you students who are listening here also, all right, if you really need it, then only you have it. Kalau tak, I think better don't lah. You know, if you cannot take the responsibility to repay back or overuse, I believe that you should not actually, in the first place, take a credit card lah. That's my view lah. You know.
So means to say we are still lacking in the awareness education among us, is it?
I believe in that. Yeah, I believe that the self-awareness itself is lacking right now because teenagers now their mindset is ikut suka hati nak belanja ni for their own need. For their own one, they want enjoy. You know, that's all they think. They forget about the consequences behind it, the spending behavior, all those. They should actually have a check on it also before they really embark into this responsibility. You know.
Yeah, I think Vincent has summed up most of the part that I intend to say. So basically it comes from experience. So my point of view, credit card is a very good thing and you must have it, but also that it comes with a big responsibility. So I would say that credit card is a godsend. If you know how to make use of it, and you really benefit from credit card. But one warning is that just one piece of advice: if you were to own a credit card and not be part of the statistics of people who go bankrupt, make sure that credit card do not affect your spending behavior. All right, that means having a credit card and not having a credit card, make sure that it doesn't affect your spending. If you own a credit card and you think you can spend more, that's where you fall into a trap. All right. You spend as you need and not as what you could have spent. All right. Yeah. So Maria is.
Yes, partly, mostly answering my question, and I am same with Vincent. I also don't have credit card because for me, credit card is haunted. It's a very haunted thing for me. So I'm not brave enough to use the credit card because I know I am not that kind of responsible in using credit card. Okay, thank you for the answer.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me just share one more thing. There's a very big thing inside every one of us called this herding behavior. Herding. All right. So we are like a group of sheep. When we are among the sheep, and if one of the sheep run for no reason, we tend to follow this sheep. And even when these sheep run off the cliff, we will just follow blindly. And turns out there's nothing chasing this sheep, and it just ran off the cliff, and every sheep just follow and ran off the cliff. Why? Because of being fear, and when they are afraid, they tend to follow the crowd. So in finance, it's the same. When people start spending on something, you also will tend to follow blindly. Everyone gets a credit card, you get a credit card. Everyone overspend, you tend to overspend. Everyone live like they need to repay their credit card debt, you do the same. So it is this herding behavior that is quite dangerous in the finance world.
Yeah, that's quite dangerous as well, because sometimes if I saw my friend buy a brand new shirt, then somehow I don't want to lag out of the trend. So sometimes I do follow blindly too. I also want to buy just to don't want to lag out of the trend. Yeah, that's quite serious as well as dangerous. So before we almost end our session, I would like to know that is Mr. Vincent on Instagram, is there any question?
So far, no.
All right. So before we
I would like to ask a question.
yes, sure.
Just one from me. So, living as a student, I'm a student who worked 2 jobs in my life. So I work 2 jobs. I pay my own tuition fees. So I actually buy my own bike to go to college. So I value every dollars I spend. I really value every dollars I spend. But there are some students who really don't care, I can say, about what's going on in the economy. They don't really care about how they spend their money. You know, they just go for the single tang, take a photo, put it in Instagram like every 2 days, and then they go for a movie. They don't really care about money because the parents pay for it, unlike me. So statistically, for someone who's doing a PhD in Islamic banking, why do you think are the main reason people go poor in this country?
Okay. Wow, that's a very big question. Why do people go poor in this country? Huh? Okay. Looking from top down, it is a capitalist world. So the rich will be richer and the poor will just flow with the economy. So as long as people are being trapped in the middle or lower income, especially those from the lower income, it is actually quite a challenge to climb up. Okay, I think being us, all of us being able to enjoy education, it is the perks of being in the middle income. For those in the lower income, they actually don't enjoy such luxury that we have. So if they from the lower income do not get an appropriate education, they will never climb up the ladder. They will never climb up a ladder, and then they will always will not be able to enjoy the better rates and all kinds of investment opportunities that you are always seeing. They are not part of the bigger economy. So they'll always be the ones working what we call as in a blue collar job, trying to work hard, trying to just make enough to be able to sustain and live from day to day. So they have no extra income to actually uplift their life. So if this lower income, we call it the B40 in Malaysian government, they call it the B40. That means the lower income, the lower end of the lower 40% of the citizens of Malaysia, and this one needs help the most. So governments are always looking to take care of them, but as they say, it's very hard because they are always in this trap, not able to get out of this. So being poor is already a curse. It's sort of a curse.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Unless you are blessed or you get the appropriate help, or the most importantly, education, then you can help yourself to get out of this.
All right. Thank you. You answered my question. Really helpful.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
we have a follow-up question from Nicholas. Nicholas, is there any question?
Yes, SJ. I was just while Sanjay was talking about this now, how we still have poor people and all that, and how we have a certain group that always go and live a luxurious life, but it's not a life and it's not their money to use also. It's not a bad thing, but it's just how they spend their money. But I would like to ask, as there may be a point of time as university students, we have friends in university that sometimes don't have any money at all. I had a friend that he didn't have money to eat breakfast, and I said, "It's okay, man. I'll just buy you breakfast." So if I know, it's just a sharing that it happens lah. As a student, sometimes we have a more our words may mean more to our friends, because of the age gap and everything. We can be relatable. As if you were to have an advice if we ever come across a situation where we have to give some sort of financial advice, what would your advice be to the youngsters of today? You know, like the one thing that they should always keep in mind before they take out that money to spend on something. Yeah. So when we occur this situation one day, we may be of some use to somebody. Yeah. So I would probably just want to ask that question.
Hmm. Okay. I actually didn't quite get your question. So you want to know what
If
sort of advice that
yes, that we can
Yeah.
that we can help someone help someone out if they were stuck in a financial situation. Yeah, so we can try to help them out in another way than not giving them money lah, because we can't always give them money ma. So what advice can we give them?
Okay. It's a very big area also lah to say that. But if they are just a normal friend and things like that, just try to advise them not to overspend, because for people who are from the lower income or they just have enough, they tend to borrow a lot when there is an opportunity, because for them money is luxury. So when money is available, they tend to take it. So when they take it in sort of a trap, because they enjoy this luxury in the short run where they have that money, but in the long run they are going to suffer. Sort of like, okay, I got my PTPTN loan today and my money, and I'm going to spend it on this bubble tea every day. So yes, you get to enjoy what you today, but at the expense of your future. So yes, you are going to be trapped in this thing forever. And once you pay off this loan, another chunk of money will come, and then you will take it again, and the history will repeat itself. So just try to educate them on these financial traps, where it is very attractive, but it will cost you in the long run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to add up to
I see. Thank you.
Nicholas, right? Nicholas was concerned about those students who have problems. So in Enlight, we do have entrepreneurs who are going to come and give you a talk. So if you're looking for opportunity, look for a passive income, you want to make more income, you want to grow your own business, you can come and let us know. We can find the appropriate people to talk to you, and we can make a better life for everybody. Thank you, Mr. Lim. Thank you, Nicholas. Get back to you.
And last question for today's session from Ms. Sandelin. In your opinion, how many months' salary should we have for emergency? 3 months, 6 months?
Wow.
Oh, okay. This is also relying on personal spending behavior. If your commitment is really high, and if you have a family that depends on you, of course, the more the better. You will go for probably 6 months or above. If you are just single and having to only save yourself, then 3 months will be sufficient. All right, that would be the short answer. But if in the long answer, you probably have to take in factors like job opportunities around, because you might get laid off in a bad economy and things like that. But yeah, of course, the longer the better. Okay. I hope that gives answer to the question.
So it also depends on your personal issue. As if you have family, you should go for more. Yeah. All right. So we have our last question from Cedric. Yeah. Carry on.
Cedric,
Can you unmute your mic and ask? We're encouraging communication here.
hi Cedric. Hi Cedric.
Cedric, you there? I think something wrong. You can just type your question. Yeah.
Yes, sure. So hope everyone will get very fruitful information after this. Yeah, so stay tuned with us, and like we're going to have more session with you, not only money management as well as other topic as well. So do follow us, like us on Facebook page and subscribe us on YouTube so that you will get more from us.
Yeah, we gotta promote. Right, that's a question. So for those who are in this room right now, each of us, we have dreams, right? So you can think back in your life, what do you really want to do in your life that you don't have the right people with you to push you forward? You can just share it with us. And that is there for you. We are not doing it for money. We have lecturers, we have students, first-class students, we have entrepreneurs. So we are here to help you. So if you have anything in mind, just tell us and we can arrange something for you. All right? Gap, lecture, question is done.
And the question is, talking about spending within your means. We always mention about the U20 and the B40. How do you spend within your means for the M40? It is not easy.
Okay. So by saying that, you say that I'm in the M40, and we are all within the M40, rather than the B40. Okay. So first of all, if we are in the M40, then first thing we should do is be thankful. Be thankful that we are in the M40. All right, that means we are in the middle 40%, middle wage earner, and we are not doing too badly, but we are also not that rich. So the first of all, be thankful. Secondly, I would say that that I think knowledge is very important these days. Knowledge. So and knowledge is free. Knowledge is quite free these days, that we can learn a lot of things from YouTube, even online, even this session and all other sessions that Enlight is sharing is all free. You just need to spend your time. So how do I spend within my means? Actually, I spend very little in terms of money these days, because I do not go out a lot. So I believe that during MCO, a lot of people start to question their life and their future. What if this goes on forever? I do not spend outside, but I stay at home most of the time. So these kind of questions pop in our head. We actually do not need to spend to survive. We only need food and air. So whatever you spend outside MCO period is actually a luxury. So the M40 usually go out to cafes, and things like that. So yeah, that is what I call a luxury lah. A luxury that we do, we enjoy. So if you really cut down on that, and you use the savings is used for meaningful purposes, like to if you wish to climb the ladder to go up to the upper 20 and things like that, then I think that will be a good goal and a good mission to have. So what I do is I tend to save and try to climb to get myself a sports car or something like that. I think one of
I think to add on to that, besides savings, I have an uncle who is right now a millionaire owning a business. I always ask him, how do we make money? He always said that whenever you do something for money, it won't come to you. You do it for passion. So my uncle said, everybody in this world, they are born with a gift. Somebody can make pie, somebody can they can make a gadget, somebody can do something. Everybody have a gift. So when you can use your gift to the best ability, you can find ways to make money. And of course, there's a lot of platform to help you, just like Enlight do. So when you can find your gift, when you polish it, of course you can find opportunities anywhere, like the Enlighters do. We can talk, we can do a lot of things. We have been to a lot of competition, we win a lot of things, and we realize that we have a gift, and this gift brought us to Enlight. And in the future, we're going to be big people. I'm sure of that. So we utilize our gift to give back to the society. So maybe that could be an insight for you as well, Cedric. Thank you.
Right, so I guess that will be the last question for today's. And so before we end our session, any last word from Mr. Lim to our audience here on money management?
From me or from the audience?
From you.
From you, from Mr. Lim.
Okay. I would like to share just two things that is part of my research right now. I hope it makes good sense and also you can benefit from it. The first one is that always remember, be mindful that in finance, if something is too good to be true, it is usually not true. All right, so just be careful of that. And the second and the one that I'm actually doing my research on now is that any investment that are low risk, we always hear that high risk, high return, low risk, low return, right? I'm not sure if you have heard of it, but my research currently will focus on low risk investment being better than high risk investment. That means low risk investment will eventually give you a better return than high risk investments. So do not aim for high risk, just invest in a low risk thing and the things will work out for you in the long run.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
thank you so much to Mr. Lim as well as all the audience that attend today's session. We hope that you will actually gain a lot of information from Mr. Lim as well as other enlightens as well as other viewer questions and answers. So thank you to Mr. Lim as well as to other audience for attending today's session. Keep in touch and like our page, our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube as well as Instagram, where you're going to get more information and next AI session. So thank you so much to everyone and see you next time.
All right. So for those who want to stay, you can stay for a chit chat, and for those who have things to do, you can leave. Right. So we are off formal now. It was a good session, guys. So it's an
Thank you.